Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for another part of my tactical analysis sort of video series kind of thing. If you remember, a few weeks ago I made a video, or two videos actually, talking about how we played under Antonio Conte, using back then the 4-1-4-1 formation, going quite in depth about it, how we, behave when we're attacking, how we behave when we're defending. I might not go into that much depth right now, but obviously we do have a new formation right now, and we've been playing it for the last two games, because the one before, against Arsenal, really didn't work. We conceded way too many goals, for pretty much, we conceded every game pretty much against, except against Burnley. Until we changed the formation. So that obviously wasn't working too well. We got some wins, and we started the season with 3 wins in a row. But, West Ham was a late winner. Watford was a late winner. Yes, again, Burnley was a convincing 3-0 victory. But Burnley really had a poor day, and we had a really good day. So it all played, for each other. I'm not sure if that's the saying. Anyway, so there were a lot of things playing into the right direction for why we beat Burnley so convincingly. And that wasn't really because the formation was working so well. And then against Swansea, we had our troubles. Obviously, that was down to mistakes. But still, we didn't win the game. And against Arsenal and Liverpool, we all know what happened, and it didn't look good. So, what Antonio Conte did, first of all, for the whole game, and now on Saturday against Leicester, he changed it up to a 3-4-3 formation. I'm going to put it up here right now, the formation that we used against Leicester. Obviously, with Pedro being in there instead of Willian now, because that was the case on Saturday. Even though once Willian is back, I'm pretty sure he will start and Pedro will be on the bench again. But talking about the first few things that change with a 3-4-3 compared to a 4-1-4-1 or to a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever it is. Obviously, with 3 centre backs, we find it a lot easier to pass ourselves out of tricky defensive situations. Like, I'm not sure if you've realised during the game, but David Luiz, Aspie, Cahill, and obviously the centre mids, we sort of passed ourselves out of a lot of tricky situations, didn't just kick the ball up front, So we find that a lot easier to play ourselves out of tricky situations, which is obviously really handy because that means you can keep the ball more. And you can't, concede if you have the ball, and you're way more likely to score a goal if you have the ball. So, that is obviously good. Talking about the wing backs, which is obviously the biggest difference to what we've been doing so far, is a wing back, pretty much a fullback and a left mid. He's not a left winger, but fullback and a left mid, and right fullback and right back and right mid, of course. So on the left side, that is, as you can see, is Alonso on the left. So he's obviously a little bit less attacking than Moses is on our right side. But what they both do is give us a lot of width. I'm going to put it up quickly here, a heat map of where Moses and Alonso sort of move towards during the game against Leicester. That you can see how much width they actually do provide, which is, I think, vital for the way we play and the way to make as I said, the pitch as wide as possible and give us as much space as possible to, play our football. Obviously, with Moses, attacking, Pedro sometimes interchanges with him. Sometimes Pedro is sort of falling back a little bit if Moses is going forward. And, but usually Moses is the one staying as the wingback kind of thing. So, the wingbacks, sorry. As I said, also because they provide the width. But another reason why they're important is because, when we're defending, we pretty much have 5 defenders. And we're attacking, we have 4 midfielders, but also 6 midfielders because the wingers are still kind of midfielders. So that's why we have, whatever situation we're in, we have enough bodies to sort of have more people in that area than the opponent. So that is, I think, why the formation generally is working so well at the moment. Then obviously, talking about the centre midfielders, Matic and Kante have to cover a lot of space because, yes, they're in the centre of the park, and they pass it out, they win the ball back and do all of that. But because we don't have a centre attacking mid anymore, those two still have to provide some sort of creativity going forward. Especially Kante provided more of that against Leicester than Matic did, probably because he's just better. But that's what happens. But they have to cover so much ground because they have to go forward a little bit to provide their creativity, and also give us enough bodies going forward, they have to cover space a lot going back because we only have 3 defenders. That is vital. And so far, especially Kante, he got man of the match by the Premier League against Leicester. So he's done that really well, especially against Leicester, also against Hull. So that, if Kante is injured, I highly doubt that we can actually play a 3-4-3 right now. Once all of our other players get used to their formation as well, maybe we can. But right now, without Kante, we can't. The next sort of thing that massively changed is the positioning and the style of play by Eden Hazard. First of all, he's playing very high up top. I'm just going to show up now a picture of like an actual formation in the first half against Leicester. Sky Sports showed it after the game, after the full 90 minutes, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so that's why I can't put it up. And also, like with substitutions, it would obviously be a bit confusing anyway. But in the first half, as you can see, Hazard was actually playing a little bit further up front than Diego Costa was at times. That is mainly because he's making so many runs in behind and, just drifting in central because Alonso is providing the width on the left anyway. And, before, he didn't just have to stay on the left to attack, but he also had to stay on the left to track back once we lost the ball. But now that Alonso is doing pretty much all of that, and also still we have 3 defenders, 3 centre-backs, he's very free. Like, he can go anywhere pretty much he wants on that pitch. And that is hugely important for, getting the best out of him. Sometimes he's on the right, and usually that only happens when he interchanged with the right winger. That's when pretty much the only time when he was on the right side in our 4-2-3-1 or our 4-1-4-1. But now he can pretty much go wherever he wants. Can stay on the left, can drift into the middle, can go over to the right, can drop into midfield. He can pretty much do whatever he wants, and that's when he's at his best. Clearly, he had a good chance after, I can't remember who played the ball in, but he made a good run in behind. He couldn't properly control it and get a shot away, but a lot of runs in behind is what he made, and that gives us another threat because, the defenders are busy with Diego Costa. He's a handful to handle. And then if you've got Hazard making runs in behind as well, the defenders pretty much don't know who to look for, who to mark, who to take care of, and that's why we're creating so many problems for our opponents at the moment. And as I said, Alonso is on the left. He provides the width. He's better at crossing probably anyway, because Hazard doesn't usually cross in from right by the byline anyway. He usually cuts inside a little bit, maybe puts in a cross then, or goes into the one-on-one situation and tries to get past people and have a shot or something, or pass it off then. But because that isn't necessary anymore, as I said, he's got more freedom. He can do whatever he wants. He can be in the positions he should be in. And yeah, he can score more goals. He can provide more assists. He can prove to be more dangerous. So all of that sounds incredible in my opinion, and it's been working incredibly well. And then the last sort of thing that kind of changed is that dropped something. Is Diego Costa staying very much in the middle. Especially last season, a lot of us were complaining about him going over on the left wing, sometimes on the right, but mainly on the left wing, and then he was missing in the box when someone put a cross in, or sometimes it was even him putting the cross in. But that was obviously down to Hazard drifting inside, and then we needed someone on the left because Azpilicueta as the left back didn't really provide the width. Also, we had to, still have our defensive organisation, so they couldn't just run to the corner flag of the opposition. So that's why that happens so often. And now that Alonso is on the left, Hazard cuts inside. There's always someone on the wing to play the ball inside, to cross the ball in or play it in, whether that's on the left or on the right, with Moses on the right and Alonso on the left. But that's why he's staying more central. That's why I think he's been scoring so many goals. Like, he's got 7 in 8 games. And, that's an incredible ratio. He's actually so far, we've posted it on social media today, he's got the best goal per minute ratio of any Chelsea player that scored more than 10 goals. Right now anyway, he scored a goal every 133 minutes. Over his, I think that's league goals, over his Premier League career at Chelsea, obviously only when he's been playing, when he's injured, that doesn't count. But just think about it, a goal every 133 minutes, that's incredible. Like, if we can keep that up, and we can keep hold of him for another 3 years, he might actually, challenge Drogba for the best striker we've ever had. I know that's, a big statement to, put out, but, if we win things, if we win the Champions League, if we win the Premier League, who knows, more regularly, why not? You know, if it keeps a ratio like that up, this is absolutely insane. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the differences. Obviously, like as I said, if we defend, we pretty much, it turns a little bit into a 5-back formation. If we attack, it's clearly a 3-back, and you know, the wingers kind of thing, the two next to Diego, drift inside. The wingers, the wing backs. It's so confusing, so many positions. Sorry about that. Provide the width, and they, you know, stay in the wings and put the balls in and the crosses in and all of that. So it's working. It's working wonders. Obviously, with, you know, players like Fabregas, he will find it really, really difficult to get into that team using that formation. Next to Kante, I think it could work because Kante does so much, and then Kante wouldn't have to do the offensive part because that would be Fabregas' job. So Kante could cover pretty much everything defensively. But I think Matic, or possibly even Chalobah instead of Matic, next to Kante is probably the best we have to play in a 3-4-3. You know, again, like me and Louis talked about in the Hangover review, and like I mentioned quickly in my review as well, whether John Terry will come in instead of Azpilicueta or instead of Gary Cahill, I'm not too sure. But it's been working really well so far, and you know, that's pretty much all I can say. Please leave me your thoughts on the formation we're using, on how you think it's, you know, giving us advantages in certain areas of the game. And also, if there's something you don't like about the formation, please let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And another thing, me and Louis are planning a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, whether that's about football or other things, I don't know, just ask them down in the comments, and we'll, you know, get to answer them over the next couple of days. So yeah, if you've got any questions, leave them down below. And that's pretty much it from me. And I'll see you next time.